Your Excellency Mr. Cho Yoon, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Korea, distinguished conference participants, ladies and gentlemen. I congratulate the Republic of Korea for convening the 7th International Conference on Action with Women and Peace. It is critical that this gathering, held amidst rising misogyny, militarization, and the reversal of generational gains on gender equality, serve to strengthen global partnership and amplify vital voices to combat conflict-related sexual violence. As we pass the quarter-century milestone of the Women, Peace and Security Agenda, our paramount concern must be to protect and preserve the framework of the foundational Resolution 1325. Its adoption forever changed the face of peace and security by recognizing that gender equality bolsters social stability, whereas sexual violence normalizes and entrenches aggression, impeding reconciliation and peace building. This conference comes at a time when rising threats to international peace and security, including sexual violence, are eroding and in some cases erasing progress. Emerging technology is being weaponized as proliferating and escalating conflicts have reached record levels, exacerbating trends of sexual violence. In the course of 2024, more than 4,600 cases of conflict-related sexual violence used as a tactic of war, torture, terror, and political repression were documented, marking a staggering 87% increase from 2 years ago. The mandate now covers 21 countries of concern. This increase reflects the widening scope of warfare globally and the increasing disregard for international law. A rise in the level of brutality has also been observed, with rapes increasingly followed by lethal violence to silence the victims before information can become evidence. Women human rights defenders and humanitarian workers on the front lines of the response are at increasing risk of harassment and reprisals, including via digital platforms. Indeed, one of the emerging trends monitored by my mandate is technology-facilitated gender-based violence. Digital technologies shape the way individuals experience violence by preserving images of assault, intensifying and prolonging trauma. In Haiti, gangs have regularly kidnapped women and girls, in some cases filming victims being raped to pressure relatives to pay ransom. The ramifications of sexual violence are not new in terms of stigma, risk of reprisal, and socioeconomic isolation. Yet, these devastating effects can be amplified by technology on a scale previously unimaginable. In the face of these mounting and ever more complex challenges, my mandate has consistently pursued 3 lines of response. Firstly, strategic engagement with state and non-state parties to leverage compliance, protection, and behavioral change. My mandate has to date signed more than a dozen joint communiques and frameworks of cooperation with parties to armed conflict, most recently with the government of Sudan, to enhance security sector reform, protection, and assistance. The mandate has effectively leveraged the credible threat of sanctions and accountability measures to secure the release of women and girls abducted and held in military bases or by armed groups in South Sudan, the DRC, and elsewhere. Conflict-related sexual violence is now explicitly reflected in the designation criteria of 9 sanction regime, which has resulted in some 30 listings, sending a powerful political signal. Secondly, the operational arm of my mandate delivers multi-sectoral survivor-centered services as an essential element of the response. This is not a soft issue, but rather the ultimate expression of political will. The Interagency Coordination Network, which I chair, UN Action Against Sexual Violence in Conflict, has been truly transformative in bringing these issues into focus through advocacy, knowledge building, and joint catalytic operations in the field. Through more than 60 life-changing projects spanning 18 conflicts, UN Action has reached thousands of survivors who were once invisible and inaccessible across Ukraine, the DRC, Mali, South Sudan, Darfur, Somalia, and elsewhere. UN Action has pioneered innovative strategies that move beyond reactive measures to activate early warning systems and mitigate risk, shifting social stigma, strengthening solidarity networks, and supporting socioeconomic reintegration. These interventions have harnessed digital technology for safe and confidential referrals, as well as making use of mobile clinics to reach survivors in remote and volatile regions. UN Action has compiled best practices and lessons learned into a unique global knowledge hub, which serves as an evidence base for effective solutions. Thirdly, in terms of accountability, including as a form of deterrence, my team of experts on the rule of law has supported legislative reform, trained law enforcement officials in trauma-informed investigation and prosecution, and ensured that conflict-related sexual violence is addressed in transitional justice processes. Signs of hope are evident in Colombia, where former commanders have been indicted for war crimes, including sexual violence, and in the DRC, where I recently supported the launch of a strategy to implement the law on reparations for survivors. To advance justice for conflict-related sexual violence, member states are increasingly requesting technological support. Technology is allowing us to take best practices to scale. Moving forward, my team will harness new technologies to ensure information is better safeguarded and searchable for effective investigations and prosecution. Survivors remain the moral compass guiding my mandate. The voices of survivors must be at the heart of every policy framework, every funding decision, and every peace and transitional justice process to ensure we move beyond rhetoric to real-world results. As we foster socioeconomic networks among survivors, we must recognize the generational trauma caused by conflict-related sexual violence and foster intergenerational dialogues to serve succeeding generations from this scourge. To that end, I have engaged and mobilized youth. In November 2024, I appointed Mrs. Ayashebi, the former African Union Special Envoy on Youth, as the newest global champion in the fight against conflict-related sexual violence. As we look ahead to the next 25 years of the Women, Peace and Security agenda, let us be strategic in our priorities and bold in our innovations. Let us increase our level of political resolve and financial resources to finally meet the scale of this challenge. Thank you.